Back everyone. Well, after a hot and relatively dry day across the area today, we look to do it all over again as we head into Labor Day. We'll talk about that, plus of course have the very latest out in the tropics. But first, let's take a look at what we have going on regionally, and nothing but fair skies really across all of the northern Gulf Coast this afternoon, giving way to pretty nice conditions out there, although on the warm side, and we'll look to do it all over again as we head into Monday. Of course, tomorrow, Labor Day. I know some of you may be having the day off, maybe doing some grilling tomorrow, and really not going to be all that bad out there, especially in the morning. We'll see low temperatures tonight dropping back into the upper 60s to lower 70s, depending on where you are, and then through the course of tomorrow afternoon. Another hot one. High temperatures will be back into the lower and mid 90s, a few passing clouds, but rain chances will be no better than 10%. So if you do have the day off, hopefully you're able to enjoy it out there for your Labor Day. Now, out in the tropics, we are watching for areas of interest, but none of which that we're overly worried about at this time. Here's the first, still sitting out in the Caribbean Sea. We were talking about this yesterday, but only has about a 10% chance to develop as it heads westward in the next 5 days. Should not enter the Gulf or really be much of an issue. Other three areas are out in the Atlantic, one pretty close to the island of Bermuda. Should get pretty close to the eastern seaboard here in the coming days. Has about a 30% chance to develop, but model's not too hot on picking this one up at all. So we'll continue to watch, but shouldn't be any significant impacts. Other two areas close to the African coast both have a high chance to develop in the coming days, but similar thinking as we were talking about yesterday, should eventually recurve out to sea with time. And here we go with the Euro model tracking out our systems out in the Atlantic. You can see taking the two we're watching out to sea. Another one maybe try to get going in over a week's worth of time. So we'll continue to see how that evolves. And a notice closer to home today, the Euro model not picking up on that frontal boundary that we were talking about yesterday. So that's why I was kind of saying we don't want to get overly excited that we were going to see a frontal boundary move through sometime late next week, as models kind of flip-flop. We call it the windshield wiper effect, but nonetheless, we'll continue to keep an eye on it, but at least at this point with this setup looking to take effect, would be more tropical showers in our part of the world for next weekend, but of course that is still subject to change. And the main story here going to be the temperatures overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Check it out, upper 60s for our northern parishes, right along the interstate, right around 70 degrees, and then pretty similar story along our coastal parishes tomorrow morning. So certainly beats the upper 70s that we could be certainly dealing with this time of year. So of course we'll have to take it, and a little bit less humid out there as well. Now heading into your Labor Day, we'll see those high temperatures back into the lower and mid 90s, and rain chances are really no better than 10% out there. So next 10 days here, pretty confident in the forecast at least through Thursday, and then for Friday onwards, again, still a little bit uncertainty here, but at least the upper level pattern data that I've been looking at today suggests no real frontal passage for late next week. Temperatures reflect that here, still staying in the lower 90s, and then more of a tropical air mass may look to set up as we head into next weekend, into early parts of next week, which would give us more an unsettled weather pattern. But of course, we'll continue to watch as we head through the next couple of days. And that'll do it for weather. We have much more coming up right after the break.